What's going on, guys? Jacoby Kendrick here, the BJJ Realtor. I just wanted to come at you. We just got done with the American Nationals, and so I just wanted to do like a reaction video, kind of tell about what happened, what went on, how I'm feeling, and we've got Master Worlds coming up here in about 9 days. So Master Worlds coming up in 9 days, and so I just wanted to talk to you guys about how I'm feeling. Not going to have any footage of American Nationals because I didn't have anybody record my matches because Flow Grappling was there, but apparently the videos and everything was going up and down the whole time. So a lot of the videos got cut off, and some of the videos actually aren't even really that good. So won't have any. Might have like a little bit of content of the matches, but probably won't have any on the channel here. So going into American Nationals, felt pretty good. It was going to be gi and no-gi. I actually had one other time when I was going to do gi and no-gi together before. I think it was in Austin, and I signed up for gi super heavy, no-gi super heavy. The gi was first. I thought I would lose a couple of pounds when I went and did my gi matches. I did not, so I didn't make weight for no-gi. And so this was actually my first no-gi competition, like tournament, since Nogi Worlds last year. I did the super fights here locally at the Warlord Invitational in Big Spring here, but I have not done a tournament in Nogi in a while. So this was my first tournament. Gi was on Saturday, no-gi was on Sunday. Was in Dallas, Texas, American Nationals 2020. Signed up for super heavy in the gi and ultra heavy in no-gi. Was supposed to have 6 matches total. Ended up really probably being about 4 matches. I'll talk about that here in just a second because one of the competitors ended up falling out a couple of times. He was like cramping or something like that. So Saturday was the gi, and it was super heavy. There were 3 competitors in my bracket. First competitor, I ended up winning that match. I've been working on my butterfly guard, and so came out, got grips, pulled guard, butterfly sweep, came out on top, and then moved to mount and finished with a head and arm choke or a katagatame, whichever one you want to call it. The guy was actually, I spoke to him afterwards, said he was a pretty new blue belt, so, and they actually don't stand at his academy, and so I didn't have much resistance from him on the pulling guard and the butterfly sweep. But I felt really good about it because it was actually the first time I have ever pulled guard and hit a butterfly sweep, I guess you could say, in a competition. So I've really been working on the butterfly sweep, really been working on my closed guard game, trying to get better at that, and so I was really excited about actually hitting that. And then, so I went against him. He lost to the first guy, the other guy that was in our bracket, and then whenever it came for us to do the final, the guy, like I said he was cramping because I think he did pans at ultra heavy, and then he lost some weight in order to get down to super heavy. And so he said that he had not actually drank any water all day, and he was cramping up and all that. So I ended up having 1 match for my weight division, Master 2, super heavy blue belt, and won the gold on that one. And then we had the open class, in which I had 2 matches as well. So I had 1 match against a smaller guy. I'm not sure what his weight division was, but actually, no, I had 3 matches. I had 3 matches in the open class. First match was against a guy in the ultra heavy division. I ended up taking him down, and what ended up happening on that match? Man, I totally forgot about that match. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. So wow. So I did end up having 3 matches. The reason why I don't remember it is because it wasn't on Flow Grappling. Here's what happened. Now I remember. Ended up taking the guy down, and then he ended up going into turtle. I ended up taking his back, but I did not get the finish on that one. So Ended up taking the guys back and not getting the finish on the super heavy. Then the next match was against a smaller guy. We just stood the whole time. At the end, I ended up going for a single leg attempt and winning on an advantage. And so won on an advantage on that. Part of the thing was is I knew like the other guy on the other side of the bracket was only going to have 2 fights. My first fight, I actually burned my forearms out a little bit because I was trying to finish the choke on this ultra heavy, and so that probably was a mistake. But I'm really trying to go for finishes now. Like I'm not trying to win on points, and so on the second match, the guy was actually a pretty good wrestler. He had pretty good base. And so I was trying to take him down, just do it from the stand-up. He was really, really tired from all the grip fighting and all that stuff. And so I just waited till the end and just, went for the takedown and ended up getting the advantage and winning the match. And then the final match in the Open was against the guy. He's really, really good. I think now he's actually ranked number 10 in Master 2 Blue Belts. But really, really good. Ended up taking him down with a takedown. And then actually he pulled guard. He actually pulled guard. We stood up for a little bit. He pulled guard. And then I ended up passing his guard. And then after I passed his guard, we stood up again. And then I actually hit a butterfly sweep on him as well. And so at the very end, we probably had like 15 seconds left. 30, maybe 40 seconds left, 30 seconds. I'm not exactly sure. But in that time, like if you're only ahead by a guard pass or whatever, like guys will do anything to, they'll throw the Hail Mary up. And so for me, I just pulled and hit the butterfly sweep and got the other points. So I ended up winning that match 5-0 on that one. So I ended up gold in both super heavy and gold in the Open class in the gi. And then on Sunday, we had Nogi. And so had my first match, Nogi Ultra Heavy, went against a very strong competitor. He's probably the strongest dude I have ever faced since I've been competing. I mean, it was just huge. His neck was like 2 times the size of my neck. It was crazy. And so he's a really good wrestler. Whenever we first locked up, he actually got double underhooks and kind of, I think I don't know what he was trying to do, but he tossed me. And basically when he tossed me, though, we were out of bounds, and I kind of slipped out. And so we got reset inbounds, and I ended up getting a single leg, taking him down, taking his back, and choking him out with a rear naked choke. So once I had the takedown, it was pretty good after that, taking his back. And then on the final match for Nogi was the guy from, yesterday. And, we started the match, started standing with some pretty good grip fighting going on. I was actually getting kind of frustrated because he was like putting his hand in my face and like almost poking me in the eye. He actually scratched I don't know if his fingernails were long, but he scratched my hand a couple of times. And I'm like, my hand's bleeding. And I was worried he was going to like scratch my face up or claw my face. And so it was really, really frustrating. But, started to pick up the pace on the grip fighting, and then we went out of bounds one time, and he just said he didn't want to fight anymore. So he ended up not finishing the fight. So ended up with 2 matches ended up with just 1 match basically for Nogi as well for the weight division. So I ended up getting gold in Nogi as well. I did not do the absolute for Nogi. I was starting to get a little tired, and with Master Worlds coming up next week, I didn't really want to risk anything or do anything. So if I didn't have Master Worlds coming up here in 9 days, 10 days, then I definitely would have done the absolute in Nogi as well. But since Master Worlds is basically the goal this year, just kind of conserved it and wanted to get ready. So it was a really good experience. My first American Nationals. Felt good to win in the gi, both the Open class and weight class, and then Nogi as well, getting my first tournament under my belt since Nogi Worlds last year. Winning Nogi Worlds last year, and then so we got Master Worlds coming up, and so this tournament actually bumped me up to number 3 worldwide Master 2 blue belt. And then one of my opponents, who will probably be on the other end of the bracket. Actually, he will be at the other end of the bracket unless the number one guy shows up at Master Worlds, which I did not see his name in the brackets. Hopefully, we'll be squaring off, and that will determine who will be the number one Master 2 blue belt in the world next week. So we're getting ready for, we're putting the final touches on the training camp, and then we are going to be headed out to Orlando next week. So I will give you guys an update after Master Worlds. We'll make sure we have all the content from those matches. And until then, talk to you guys later.